We're staring at a very weak NFL draft quarterback class in late April. The implications are a very strong returning class of quarterbacks in college football coming up this fall. Mark Rogers TV on the top quarterbacks coming back in college football. We start with our top 10 with Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M redshirt freshman last year, Heisman Trophy winner, Mr. Do-It-All, beat Alabama on the road. You know the story. He really looked impressive in the Cotton Bowl as well. Johnny Manziel totals from 2012, 68% through the air, 3,700 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, 9 picks, 1,400 rushing, 21 touchdowns. He accounted, therefore, for 47 touchdowns. He deserved the Heisman Trophy, and he should be back for a huge sophomore season, although he's lost some offensive linemen and some playmakers on the outside, in particular Ryan Swope. Our number 2 rated quarterback coming back is A.J. McCarron. 2 national championship rings says quite a bit for A.J. McCarron of Alabama. 67% passer last year at 2,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, 3 picks for A.J. McCarron, and certainly he comes through in the key situations. The last drive, game-winning drive at LSU, and of course the national championship game performance the past 2 years, nearly flawless both times for A.J. McCarron. Number 3 is Tajh Boyd of Clemson, coming up the charts. He splashed onto the scene with a spectacular freshman season, leading Clemson to the ACC Championship and the Orange Bowl bid. He was even better this season. He's a bit raw, but becoming more polished. He's determined to get better, and he lit it up for 67%, 3,900 yards, 36 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns against 13 picks. So he is prone to make a few mistakes, but Tajh Boyd is spectacular, and he's got some playmakers coming back in Sammy Watkins, although he does lose DeAndre Hopkins. Number 4 guy on this list really impressed us in the Sugar Bowl and the entire country in the doing. Teddy Bridgewater of Louisville. He played down the stretch the last couple ball games of the season with a bum left shoulder, a sprained right ankle, and was still able to lead Louisville to the BCS and then put the team on his back, proved to be the best player on the field that night in New Orleans in defeating the Florida Gators. And Teddy Bridgewater threw for 69%, 27 touchdowns, 8 picks, and 3,700 yards. He is spectacular. We rate him above Braxton Miller of Ohio State down in the 5th spot. Braxton Miller, a great dual-threat quarterback, just a sophomore going into his junior campaign, 58%, 2,000 yards passing, 1,200 rushing. He had 28 total touchdowns rushing and passing. The thing about Braxton Miller that concerns us is he's got a gun for an arm, he's got a cannon, and he's improved so much from his freshman to his sophomore season, but he's going to have to continue those type of steps because he's still pretty inaccurate, gets into funks where he can't hit the broadside of a barn, and when his running game is taken away from him, he becomes frustrated at times. Check out the Wisconsin game in particular. Let's run down the rest of our top 10. At the 6th position, we've got Aaron Murray, the veteran from Georgia, coming back. He shuns the NFL after completing 65%, 36 touchdowns, 10 picks. Of course, performed very well in the SEC Championship game and came within just maybe a play, a few seconds, 4 yards of defeating Alabama and taking the Georgia Bulldogs to the SEC Championship game, or to the BCS National Championship game. So Aaron Murray back for the Dogs. Number 7, Marcus Mariota of Oregon. As a freshman, hit on 32 touchdown passes, 5 rushing. He went into some funks himself, kind of like Braxton Miller, where he gets very scatter-armed and the ball shoots all over the place. It cost Oregon probably the game against Stanford, but just a freshman, Marcus Mariota, his upside is enormous. At number 8, Jordan Lynch, who carried Northern Illinois as a BCS buster on his back to the MAC championship, 25 touchdowns, 19 rushing touchdowns. He ran for 1,800 yards. Of course, against that superior Florida State speed, it was difficult to create that type of production in the Orange Bowl, and we saw him be contained in that game, but at the same time not going to be playing that type of talent next year, 2013, in the MAC. So Jordan Lynch should perform big time again next season. At number 9, another freshman to talk about, the young talent at the quarterback position is pretty astounding. Brett Hundley of UCLA led UCLA to the Pac-12 championship game, really turned this team around with the help of course, head coach Jim Mora in particular. Hundley threw for 29 touchdowns against 11 picks. He is mobile. He's not a runner, but he's mobile. 9 rushing touchdowns for Brett Hundley. And we stay in the Pac-12 for another really emerging player in Taylor Kelly of Arizona State, who threw for 67% completions, 3,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 9 picks against superior talent out there in the Pac-12. So look out for Taylor Kelly as one of the top returning quarterbacks in college football. Check out the description post on YouTube to look at our honorable mention list, and certainly now we need to hear from you. So that's our top 10 returning quarterbacks in college football for 2013, plus our honorable mentions. Did we miss anyone? How did we place them? What do you have to say? Right here on Mark Rogers TV.